One of the best things about playing any Pokemon game is picking out the Pokemon you want to use on your team. Before I play any new main series Pokemon game, I always pick out the 6 Pokemon I want to try and use throughout my run. Team building can not only be a ton of fun, but extremely useful when playing through a Pokemon game. But how would you manage if your ability to team build was 100% taken away? Now, this concept is not a new one, especially with Nuzlocke being a thing, and one of the main components of a Nuzlocke being that you can only catch the first Pokemon on each route. But even with no say as to what Pokemon you can catch in a Nuzlocke, there still is some room to team build and find the best possible 6 Pokemon out of all of your encounters. And that brings us to the topic of this video. I want to know if we can beat a Pokemon game with absolutely no ability to team build at all. So welcome to Can You Beat Emerald with 6 random Pokemon. In this video, we'll be first randomly generating a team of 6 Pokemon, importing that team into Pokemon Emerald, and then seeing if the team is good enough to get us through the entire game. There aren't going to be any extra challenges on this first run, such as no deaths or no items in battle. The focus of this run is purely to see if we can complete the game with the 6 randomly generated Pokemon we're given. I'm open to adding additional rules for future runs, so if you'd like to see anything added, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you end up enjoying the video and want to help support me, don't forget to drop a like. It really does help me out. And also, a lot of people forget to subscribe to the channel, so if you want to see more videos like this, definitely subscribe so you don't miss out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and randomly generate the team. So here we are on the random Pokemon generator with the region set to Hoenn. This just assures that all of the Pokemon will be available in the game. There won't be any Sinnoh or Unova Pokemon like that. And then after clicking generate, the random team for our run is going to be... Now, right away looking at the team, we do have a starter Pokemon being Grovyle, which is going to be awesome and come in handy throughout the entire run. Sceptile is so good throughout the entire game, so awesome on that part. We also have Machamp, which is another really strong heavy hitter Pokemon. I would say the mid tier of our team is definitely Vileplume and Pinsir. They're 2 solid mons, just not the best attacking wise. Obviously, Pinsir does get Swords Dance, so we can use that to our advantage. But having a dupe grass type might hurt us a little bit with coverage, but we'll see. I would say the 2 low tier Pokemon on our team right now are Magikarp and Igglybuff. However, mid to late game, Gyarados is going to be great. We just got to level up Magikarp a bit. And then I think we can also work with Wigglytuff. It gets some pretty good special TMs like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and maybe even Flamethrower, so I think we can work with that. Either way, that's the squad. Time to get it over to Pokemon Emerald, and let's see if we can beat it with this randomly generated team. And once we had the whole team imported, the only thing to do right now is go ahead and take on May. I didn't think we needed to do any grinding. All of our Pokemon are level 5 by default anyways. Also, one thing I do want to add is I made every Pokemon on our team's nature hardy, just so they would all be neutral and we wouldn't have to worry about me giving myself an advantage or something like that. Now, the May fight was super easy. I ended up picking Torchic at the beginning of the run, so she's going to have Mudkip throughout the entire playthrough, which is great because we do have 2 grass Pokemon. One thing I do want to add is ignore the fact that my Pokemon's shiny in this battle. I wanted to have the whole team shiny, but if I did that, the Pokemon would not be able to have the same ID as me. Therefore, they would gain more experience in battle, and I just didn't really want that. After beating May, we make our way to Petalburg City to meet up with our dad and Wally, and then after that, go through the Petalburg Woods to make our way to Rustboro City. Now, being that the first gym leader is Rock type, and we have 2 grass Pokemon plus a Machamp, I was really not worried at all. I figured because of our typings, we could probably just go in and take on Roxanne with level 12s. I barely did any grinding beforehand, just on the trainers in the route next to Rustboro City. One thing I do want to say, even though I never made it an explicit rule in this run, is I don't think I ever over-leveled my Pokemon over the next gym leader's ace Pokemon. So I pretty much went into every boss battle, every gym battle, every Elite Four member with under-leveled Pokemon. But anyways, after setting up a focus energy, I was able to low kick the nose off this nose pass, and we take the first gym badge in our challenge run. So now we need to make our way to Dewford City to get the second gym badge and deliver a letter, but first we got to stop and help our boy Mr. Brinny out with his Pico. But now that that's done, we can make our way to Dewford to take on Brawly. One thing I knew I wanted to do before the second gym is give Steven the letter so we could go back to Mr. Stone and get the EXP share. This way we'd be able to level up Igglybuff and Magikarp without having to switch train. It would just make the whole process a lot easier. But after getting the EXP share and doing a tiny bit of grinding, it was finally time to take on the second gym leader, Brawly. Now for the Brawly fight, I wasn't necessarily scared. However, I don't have any super effective moves to hit his fighting type Pokemon with, so I knew I just had to use neutral moves, and probably my my best bet for this fight was Patches, considering it resists fighting, so I just let off with Patches and tried to go for some Mega Drains to get some kills. The Meditite just wanted to go for Reflect, so I swapped to Pinsir to get some set damage with Seismic Toss, and that was that for Meditite. And then Pinsir and Vileplume were pretty much able to 2v1 the Makuhita, and that was that. We got our second badge from Brawly. After beating Brawly, we make our way to Slateport City to start the journey towards Mauville, and we clear out the museum and say what's up to our boy Scott. I also decided to battle everyone on the beach as well as in the Soda Pop house because, I don't know, free experience, free money, why would you not? And after that, we headed north to take on May, and we absolutely destroyed her team with a combination of Spearmint the Grovyle and Train the Machamp. Once we made it to Mauville City, I knew it was time to grind up before we even think about taking on Watson, and in the process of grinding up, we actually got Dragon D's to evolve into a Gyarados, which is going to help immensely throughout the rest of the game. Obviously not too much in the Watson fight, but it's definitely going to help. And then once the whole squad was around level 20, it was time to take on Wally in front of the gym, and then see if we can get our third gym badge in the Hoenn region. Now, my strategy for the Watson fight was to set up with Train on the Voltorb, just use Bulk Up a bunch, and then just go for Karate Chop and hopefully sweep his team. Now, our Machamp has the Guts ability, so if we get paralyzed, we get an attack boost, and I got lucky enough to get staticked on a Karate Chop I used on the Electrike. And after the Guts boost, Karate Chop was more than enough to take out the Magneton in one shot. And then finally, all we had left was Manectric, and I just went for a Soda Pop, healed up a little bit, went for Karate Chop, and that was that. And now that we got our third badge from Watson, it's time to make our way to Falabar Town and then to Meteor Falls to deal with Team Magma and Team Aqua. But even after that, we're still not done with Team Magma. We need to make our way to the top of Mount Chimney to fight our boy Maxie. Now, for this fight, I really wasn't scared. I let off with Dragon D's the Gyarados to basically go for Intimidate on the Mightyena. Also, I wanted to swap into our Machamp on the Mightyena so that way we weren't affected by Intimidate. Now, Train the Machamp actually dismantled Maxie's team. Maxie's Camerupt actually got a burn with Ember, so we got our Guts boost again, and we just pretty much one-shot everything on the other side of the field. Now that we're done with that fight, we need to make our way south to Lava Ridge Town so we can go ahead and take on the fourth gym leader, Flannery. Now for the Flannery fight, I was definitely scared. We have 3 Pokemon on our team that are weak to fire moves, and we don't really have anything that's super effective. The best we have is Dragon D's the Gyarados, and he doesn't even have a water move yet. Now, knowing this going into the gym fight, I figured Train would probably be our best bet to win. If I just set up some bulk ups, I'd probably have enough defense to live any hit, and then I can just fire off Karate Chops and one-shot everything, hopefully. After 2 bulk ups, we were able to easily one-shot Flannery's Camerupt. However, Torkoal was a way bigger threat than I thought it was going to be. First of all, it pretty much one-shots Train the Machamp with Overheat, which completely caught me off guard. And like I said, I have no super effective moves on Fire-type Pokemon, so my best bet was just to go to Dragon D's the Gyarados and go for Dragon Rage until we won. And after many turns of clicking Dragon Rage, we finally win. Flannery's Torkoal goes down, and there we go. We got our 4th gym badge of the Hoenn region. So now it's time to make the long journey back to Petalburg City to take on our dad, aka the 5th gym leader. But before we head into Norman's gym, I decided it was finally time to evolve Igglybuff into a Jigglypuff. Now, one thing I do want to say that I'm pretty embarrassed about is that I totally forgot there was a Moonstone in Meteor Falls. So this whole time, I never had it. We never have the Moonstone, and I could just have a Wigglytuff right now, but no, we're just gonna have a Jigglypuff. I don't know why it blanked in my mind that there was a Moonstone in Meteor Falls, but that was such an L on my part, and don't worry, we'll get a Wigglytuff down the line, but we could have one right now. Anyways, instead of getting a Wigglytuff, it's time to take on Norman, and this fight, I was actually a little more confident going into, simply for the fact that we have Train. We also have Dragon D's the Gyarados with Intimidate, which is gonna come in clutch. I start off this fight pretty much exactly the same as Flannery's. I just go for bulk ups. Unfortunately, the Spinda goes for Teeter Dance, and I'm confused, and it just throws off my plan from basically the beginning of the battle, but it's okay. Linoon comes out and goes down just as easy, but for slacking, I needed to switch up the game plan. I wanted to swap out to Dragon D's. This way we could get an Intimidate off. We just need to Intimidate slacking. This Pokemon is way too strong and needs to have its attack lowered. After getting some good chip damage with Gyarados, it was time to bring out Tweezers and then go for the Revenge to get the final kill and get us our 5th gym badge in the Hoenn region. So of course, now after beating Norman, we do get the Surf HM, which is going to be amazing for Gyarados. Obviously, Gyarados is a better physical attacker. However, just having a water stab move is gonna be really nice. Gives us that extra coverage, and obviously we didn't have anything for fire Pokemon, so at least we have something now. I know it's not the best, but it's something. Now that we've beaten Norman and have access to Surf in the overworld, it's time to make our way back to Slateport City, and on the way there, I decided to stop at the abandoned ship so I could get get the storage key and get Ice Beam the TM. My plan for this TM is to give it to Wigglytuff somewhere down the line. Not many Pokemon on our team can learn this move. I think Gyarados is the only other one, and we don't need to give Ice Beam to Gyarados, so we're just gonna give it to Wigglytuff so we can have some special coverage. I also do the new Marvel event and get the Thunderbolt TM from Watson. And then this is where I finally realized that I could have had a Wigglytuff this whole time, that I could get a Moonstone right now. I make my way back to Meteor Falls, we get our Moonstone, and then welcome Big Shot the Wigglytuff to the team. And now that we got our team fully evolved, it's time to make our way to Fortree City. Of course, first stopping at the Weather Institute to deal with Team Aqua. Of course, after that, we have another battle with May where she gives us Fly after. The only unfortunate thing about this team right now is that we have no Pokemon that can learn Fly, so I will have to catch a Fly Slave. However, that's not really an issue. One thing I do want to say is that this rival battle is so easy. Just the fact that we have a super effective Pokemon on her starter makes it so much easier to deal with. Now that we arrived in Fortree City, I decided to go ahead and teach Ice Beam and Thunderbolt to Wigglytuff. This just assures that we'll have coverage against the gym battle. Then I go down and see Steven do the whole Kecleon event. Now it's time to take on the 6th gym. I was definitely a little nervous going into this Winona fight, simply because we don't have many Pokemon that are super effective. Obviously, we do have Wigglytuff with Ice Beam and Thunderbolt, but that's pretty much the extent of our coverage. Now, what caught me off guard is that barring Skarmory, Wigglytuff was able to handle every single Pokemon on Winona's team. But not only that, pretty much one-shot them too. The Altaria was definitely scary when it started setting up Dragon Dances. However, we got a nice switch into Big Shot, just went for Ice Beam, and that was that. Lily Cove City is the next place on the agenda, and on the way there, we ran into some Team Aqua Grunts who said to go to Mount Pyre. So we cleared out Mount Pyre. Now it's time to go back to Lily Cove. I decided to fight my rival outside the department store simply to get some money and experience. Also, I want to go inside and get some TMs for later in the run. Before advancing any further in the game, I decided to go back to the Jagged Pass with the Magma Emblem and go inside the Magma Hideout. Of course, at the end of the hideout, there's a boss battle with Maxie, and I was very scared for this simply because this battle, he's got a Crobat, and Crobat hits like a truck. We're also 5 levels under-leveled going into this battle. However, thankfully, Big Shot was able to overcome the Crobat with some Ice Beams, and we were able to take the W. Now that that's done, it's time to visit Slateport City just for a second so we can go back to the Aqua Hideout near Lily Cove. And now we just gotta clear out the same thing again, but for Team Aqua's hideout. After clearing out the Team Aqua hideout, it's time to make our way to Moss Deep City and try to get the 7th badge in the Hoenn region. And once we finally get to Moss Deep, I decide it's probably a good time to do some grinding. We level up the team, and in the process, Grovyle actually ends up evolving into Sceptile. So now we have the fully evolved squad. I think I said that an earlier point in the video, but now it's officially the fully evolved squad. After grinding up the team to around 37-38, I decided there's really nothing else to do but go ahead and take on the gym. And this Tate and Liza fight, no matter what my team is, I'm always gonna go into this fight a little bit scared, simply just because it's a double battle and it's so unpredictable and just annoying to face. And Spearmint the Sceptile was basically able to lead us to a W. Just by going for Leaf Blade on Pokemon that were weak to grass moves, we were able to secure it. Now we got 7 badges down and 1 more to go. It's time to make our way to the Moss Deep Space Center to help our boy Steven fight Maxie. I've always been so interested in this fight. I love the fact that you get to battle alongside the champion. Well, I know he's not the champion in this particular game, but the fact that you get to battle alongside someone like Steven Stone is just so cool. This battle was definitely annoying considering both opposing trainers have a camera up, and Steven's Pokemon is a Metang, which just doesn't really work. However, we were able to secure the W and take down Maxie. And now that that's done, we are getting to the nitty-gritty of the game, the true story of Pokemon Emerald. A lot of strength puzzles to be done, all right? So, of course, we go to the Seafloor Cavern, pick up the TM for Earthquake, which is godlike, but then we got to finish it off with a fight against Archie. Now, this Archie fight went pretty much identical to all of the other Evil Team boss fights in this run. I just used Dragonese and Wigglytuff to take down the Crobat, and then used Sceptile to take down the Sharpedo. It's pretty easy. Basically, I'm just trying to say that Archie was no threat to me this entire run. But now that he's beaten, we need to make our way to Sootopolis City and visit our boy Wallace in the Cave of Origin. And now it's time to follow Wallace to the Sky Pillar so we can awaken Rayquaza and send him to rescue Sootopolis City. And once that's done, the day is saved, everything goes back to normal, and it's time to go ahead and take on the 8th gym in Pokemon Emerald. Now, going into this fight with Juan, I was definitely the most scared of his Kingdra, mostly because I can't hit it for super effective damage, and it also just likes to spam double team. It's impossible to hit, impossible to kill, and it just goes for rest whenever it gets to red HP. And it really was the only Pokemon on his team that was threatening. We pretty much one-shot every other Pokemon, but as soon as we got to Kingdra, it was impossible. But thankfully, Spearmint the Sceptile came through, and not only did we hit Leaf Blade on a double-teamed Kingdra, but we got a monster crit for the KO, and that was the gym badge. And now with all 8 badges in the Hoenn region collected, of course, there's only one thing left to do, and that's make our way to Evergrande City to go through the Victory Road. Now, the Wally fight in Victory Road really wasn't a big deal. Big Shot the Wigglytuff was able to shut down Altaria with Ice Beams, and then Gyarados was able to take down Gardevoir with a few bites. And after a lot of running around and surfing around in the dark, we finally made it to Evergrande City, and now it's time to take on the Elite Four. But before going into the Elite Four, I decided to go back to Lily Cove City and hit up the Move Deleter. This way I could get rid of some of the extra HMs I had to teach my Pokemon, and I also decided to go back to the Lily Cove department store and buy some TMs like Hyper Beam, just to get some extra coverage or extra moves on our Pokemon. And after doing that and leveling up the team to level 50 all around, it was finally time to go into the Elite Four and see if we can complete this challenge. Now for the first Elite Four member, Sydney, I really wasn't too worried. We've been destroying Dark-type Pokemon all game with Train the Machamp, so pretty much my game plan was just to lead off with Gyarados, get the Intimidate off, swap in on the Mightyena, and then just set up bulk ups and hopefully sweep. Now, funny thing about this battle is that after going for 2 bulk ups, the Mightyena went for Sand Attack, lowering our accuracy. But after that, we go ahead and hit 5 Vital Throws in a row to secure the dub. 5 Pokemon up, 5 Pokemon down, each one-shots. It was insane. Train just ran an actual train on Sydney's team. Next up for the Elite Four members, we have Phoebe, and I was definitely a little more worried about Phoebe, just for the sole fact that we really have no super effective moves to use. Pretty much the only thing we have that's super effective on Ghost is Dark-type Bite on Gyarados, but even then, it's not going to do a lot of damage to Dusclops. So really, my only strategy for this fight was to use Sceptile and Dragonese to get through the Dusclops, and then try and take down the Tupanets and Sableye with Big Shot or other Pokemon that just have neutral moves. Well, honestly, it took a while and it was a really annoying battle, but we finally managed to make our way through, and now it is time for Glacia, the 3rd Elite Four member. Now, instead of sweeping all of Glacia's ice types with Train the Machamp like I normally would, I decided to actually use Pinsir for this fight. And honestly, it worked out even better. I just went for 2 Swords Dances on the Celio and then went for Brick Break on the rest of her team. The only Pokemon we couldn't one-hit KO was Walrein, and then it unfortunately hit Sheer Cold one-shotting Tweezers. But it was no problem. We brought in our cleanup crew, aka Sceptile, and that was that for Glacia. Now it's time for the 4th and final member of the Elite Four, and potentially the most scary member, Drake. In this particular run, I wasn't too afraid of Drake for the sole reason we have Big Shot the Wigglytuff with Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. I wasn't able to snag any one-shot kills with Ice Beam, however, it did enough damage to Salamence and Altaria to where it really didn't matter. After that, I brought in Machamp to take down the Kingdra, and then Gyarados to take down Flygon, and that was that for Drake. It's time to take on the champion. Now, I want you guys to know I was so nervous going into this champion fight. One of the main reasons is because we're super underleveled right now. So I had no idea if we'd be able to beat the champion while we're 7 or 8 levels under. I was also hella nervous because the entire point of this challenge run is riding on this moment. Can we beat the game with 6 random Pokemon? I have no idea, guys. Let's go ahead and find out. I decided to lead off with Patches for this battle so I could just lock myself in Petal Dance, and this way we get some good damage and hopefully an early kill on the Wailord. Thankfully, Patches tanks a Blizzard from Wailord, and we are able to get the kill on the 2nd turn. So there we go, 1 Pokemon down already. Milotic comes out next, and this Pokemon is so tanky. I was so terrified of Milotic. The way I ended up beating it was going out to Dragonese, setting up a Dragon Dance, and then just ripping off a Hyper Beam. Just does so much damage. Doesn't even matter if it's super effective. Doesn't matter if it's not stab. Hyper Beam is so good for just firing off damage. And then thankfully after that, Spearmint was able to come in and 2-shot with Leaf Blade after a full restore, and that was just perfect. Next, the Tentacruel comes in, and honestly at this point I thought I had lost the battle, but thankfully I do remember that I taught my Sceptile Earthquake, so we bring in Spearmint, go for the Earthquake, and we are able to get the kill. So now we got 3 Pokemon down with 3 more to go. The Ludicolo comes in and we're able to take that out with a few Aerial Aces. Next is Wishcash, and we're able to easily one-shot with the Leaf Blade, ×4 effective. And then last but not least, we do have a Gyarados we need to go up against, and this would be so terrifying if we didn't have Wigglytuff in the back. I just let Spearmint die to a Hyper Beam so I can bring in Wigglytuff for free, fire off a Thunderbolt on the recharge turn, and get the kill on Wallace's last Pokemon to secure us as the champion. And just like that, guys, we have beaten Pokemon Emerald with a a randomly generated team. I had an absolute blast with this run. I'm super happy with how it came out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video as well. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below, as well as let me know in the comments if there's any challenges or anything you want me to add to this type of run. Also, make sure you do not forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. There will definitely be other ones like it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a new topic on the channel, something I've never done before, so whenever we try out a new topic, it's always a little bit scary, but this video is really fun to make. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.